Back to the mysterious Challenger Cup as part of the Insomnia Truesilver Championship, the first of 2016. Thank you for bearing with us through that slightly extended break while we waited for the bracket to catch up with us for a change. That was nice. But we are going to bring you Blackout versus Guukboii, which, yeah, that's an interesting name. Don't know anything about Guukboii. Alex, do you have any information for us?
I know he plays Shock Horror in a lot of online tournaments. I've run into him a fair amount of times in, for example, like Gfinity Online Cups. I think I've seen him in Strivewire as well. So I'm pretty confident he does play a lot, and he's fairly serious about the game, because I think there's a difference between, like, say people who just like hit Legend every season or whatever, and then people who actually just smash out these online tournaments week in, week out. So definitely no pushover, I would say. He's done pretty well in some online cups, at least getting far. Although he's definitely not great at accepting my friend request. So that's something he probably needs to work on. I don't
needs to work on that for his game. He did beat Silent Storm in round 2 of this tournament, so that was a decent achievement for him. And if it's the biggest Silent Storm, the one that plays for Celestial, I don't know. There's like a few Silent Storms out there who play in online cups, so you never quite know which one it is you're getting.
Yeah, but, there's 3, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think there's 3. There are 3 that I know of, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was another one out there playing online.
There's another 100.
Yeah, exactly.
All the Silent Storms.
This is why we need to have trademark nicknames in esports. It's what we need. But Blackout, I mean, he's a former I-Series champion. Of course, this was before the Truesilver Championship. He won the last tournament before it was the Truesilver Championship, the Insomnia Hearthstone the sort of Fireside Cup, as it was called, Insomnia 55. So he has that prize to his name. Has also got a number of other wins, including the team tournament at Fest last summer. But unfortunately, he didn't get paid for that one, but he did still win it. So, he gets the credit, if not the money.
Didn't Osaka carry that?
He did carry them, yes. Honorary dignitarian Osaka carried Green Sheep and Blackout. But, Blackout is definitely a good player. And, we joke about Blackout a lot, particularly in the UK scene. We like to make fun of him a little bit. He is genuinely a very good player when he gets down to it and actually focuses.
Yeah, I think that, Blackout's good. I think he can sometimes go through. I mean, it's definitely tough, because this is something that a lot of Hearthstone players actually have, is where, like, it could be a little bit inconsistent sometimes. But when he's on his game, he's actually, potentially very good. And, like, when he plays well, he plays really well and actually gets quite far in a lot of tournaments. And like you said, he won one of the previous I-Series Hearthstone tournaments. He's performed pretty well at some other ones. I think he came in second in DreamHack Valencia and lost to his teammate Green Sheep in the finals. So, guy's good. Like, he can play the game pretty well. He's probably known more for his memeing as well, that he likes to do on Twitter.
I mean, it's Dignitas,
exactly.
It's Dignitas and the Cute Gamer Boys. They do love their memes.
Exactly.
Has he accepted your friend request yet, Alex?
No, Blackout's actually... I messaged Blackout to tell him to accept my friend request.
Yeah, he just messaged me saying that you hadn't sent him a friend request.
Well, I'm spamming it, and I do know how to use this... Oh, whoops. Not there. I do know how to use this ad. Did you link me the wrong tag?
No, I've sent him yours now.
Oh, God, okay. We'll get there. I've definitely not got 200 friends. I made sure that has been reduced right down.
I linked you the one that I used myself, so...
Yeah, I am spamming him with friend requests, so we will get there. I mean, tell the guys to start if you want, and you'll just have to add me as we go. Don't really delay the match anymore.
He's got it now, so we'll get underway here. So we are about 20 minutes behind when this match was supposed to start, so hopefully one of these players rolls the other over and we can get on schedule. Alright, so yeah, we do have the first Shaman we've seen on the cast here. And potentially the first Rogue as well, both playing Warlock and Druid as the other 2 decks. Yeah,
really interesting. Shaman's definitely one of those decks you sort of take if you like it, over taking if you think it's generally good. Because, I do have him. He's accepted. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, Shaman's definitely very powerful, but we have seen in some tournaments that it's one of those decks that can whiff pretty hard. Yeah. And then once it's whiffed, like you can just lose pretty quickly, to be honest. So yeah, it's definitely a style pick. But we are going to see Warlock versus Warlock, and it looks like Zoo versus Zoo.
Hang on, the Mulligans haven't caught up with you yet. There we go. Looks like a Zoo mirror match. We did see Green Sheep in the Wombology side event playing with the Zoo, which the Sea Giant Zoo, the Leroy Zoo, which I think carried him throughout the tournament. What you'll see from Blackout, you'll see some very quick play, without a doubt.
Yeah, definitely not normally a player who likes to take it. You know, he's like not. I wouldn't say like the hyper opposite of life coach, but definitely knows what he wants to do each turn and plays quite quickly. And something that some players actually can do against players like that is just play really slow themselves and just force maybe frustration from opponents if they prefer to play something a little bit quicker.
Yeah, you want to tilt them. That's what you're looking for.
Pretty much, yeah.
So Guukboii looks like he's leaning towards the attendee here. I definitely would have liked the corruption, I think.
Really? Against Zoo?
Yeah, because Sea Giant.
Ah, yeah, but that's very, very far down the line, I think. I don't know. And plus, like, sometimes in Zoo, if Sea Giant gets to attack once, that can be enough. And Zoo also runs Owls, so it's definitely not a guaranteed kill as they can owl off the corruption effect.
Alright, well, both these decks are actually curving out pretty well here. Blackout does have the coin to smooth his curve out for turn 3. And there's the Leroy. So yeah, Leroy Sea Giant.
Yeah, Seeker's an interesting one as well because it's an interesting pick because it's not in a good board state at the moment. It's heavily reliant on building that huge board up. But in this matchup, the way to actually win is to just keep your opponent's board down, and you just almost constantly trade on the board, because the second the Zoo runs out of minions on board and you still have some on your side, you just win because there's no like particular AoE in Zoo, or at least in common Zoo decks.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what you're looking to do here, and that's why you play things like Haunted Creeper, Rubian Egg, and Gang Boss. So Guukboii, pretty decent board here, very resilient board. But
yeah, and also one of the key cards in this matchup is Defender Vargas, because again the extra health is really important. The only issue with coining Sea Giant is I don't think there's any way to not give your opponent a Sea Giant the same turn. I mean, I don't think there's much way around that because there's no clear, and because Blackout's behind on the board, anything he does is probably going to generate tokens anyway. So this is going to be a really interesting game to see how each person deals with the Sea Giants. And this is why actually the tournament attendee can be really good, because there's not normally any direct removal for Zoo. So you like play tournament attendee. If he cleared up this creeper, then the 8/8 almost always has to just go straight into that taunt.
Yeah, but you can also see from Blackout on the backswing, he could do something like Defender Vargas on just the Reliquary Seeker, and if he traded the Sea Giant into the 2/2, could then defend on the backswing himself and fake that out a little bit.
Yep. We are probably going to see, what do you think, like Abusive into the Giant just to give him the egg and then play the Sea Giant? Seems okay.
Yeah, I guess he's just looking at whether or not he wants to play the attendee to defend or to be a little bit more aggressive and build up his board.
Well, the problem with the attendee is that it doesn't do too much because the creeper survives no matter what, or like at least a token does, and then that just kills the attendee anyway. So exactly. I feel at this moment in time the taunt doesn't really give him too much of an edge, whereas just going straight into the Sea Giant might help quite a lot.
Yeah, no, I agree, and he could actually play both.
Yeah, he can actually play all. Never mind, it's this Sea Giant maths. Where you can actually drop it all, and he can clear off the 1/1. So this is actually a super good turn from Guukboii, sorry. Just call him Gookie for short. And now this is the issue where, as we can see, it's like, well, the Sea Giant just has to hit the 2/1 unless an Owl's drawn.
That's not it. I'll tell you what, you could Leroy. Doesn't get any whelps here. That's an option. But Leroy into the 2/1.
You're only gaining 2 damage then.
Yeah.
Which is probably not going to make too much of an impact. This is what I mean. Like, this is how this game is lost or won. Like, look at one side of the board compared to the other. Like,
you
it's
just have
so
to miss the juggles here. See how lucky you get.
Yeah. Oh, he hit the egg, and oh my god, I can imagine the Blackout rage.
Yeah. I mean, this is the kind of position where just because it's Blackout, I'd say I wouldn't be surprised to see it concede. But it does get 1 kill.
The issue here is now the opponent's Sea Giant can be killed without using his own Sea Giant, which is huge. So I imagine we will just see the 4/4 and potentially the Imp Gang Boss go into the 8/6 here just to kill it off.
Yep. Just
okay.
Nice
I mean, he can do either way. He has so many juggles, but he wants to definitely dodge this egg.
Yeah. Just try and just be as efficient with the trading as possible, but as you say, so many different options for the trades. Well, it does hit the egg once.
Yeah, he might actually... Oh, is he going to go for it? Ooh. I mean, he has. It is really tough. I guess he just has to go for it. There's no real option, so he's really gonna want to dodge that egg, and he does hit it. But he can just clear it up now, which is actually like the sort of sideway positive. The silver lining, I guess. And the juggles. Oh wow, clear the whole board, and this should just be game. I think.
And you can see there from Guukboii, you said he is an experienced player, and it did show there a little bit because you could see that because he knew time was running out, once he'd done the trade to activate the 2 juggles, he then checked which of the targets was still alive to attack before the animations is actually resolved, because he knew he was running out of time.
Yeah, exactly. And even this BGH, which is a sort of a tech choice in Zoo to beat other Zoo players, I guess. Even with the BGH kind of giant, the momentum is probably too far stacked in Guukboii's favour. So he is probably just going to end this game pretty quickly.
Yeah,
there we go.
That's going to be it. Guukboii going out to a 1-0 lead here over Blackout. An early lead. So Blackout has the Rogue and the Druid available.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident we'll see Rogue locked in next. Druid is notoriously bad versus Zoo, and Rogue actually can perform pretty well, especially with cards like Sap. Imagine if you clear the board, then just Sap a Sea Giant back. Then it's just not playable again. It's definitely not like a guaranteed win. Again, just iterate. We talk about favoured matchups, but it's not like you cannot win with Zoo at all. But it's definitely going to be more difficult versus the Rogue than the Druid.
Yeah, it's definitely not impossible, mostly because of how Zoo is set up. It has all those sticky minions like eggs and creepers that Rogue doesn't necessarily have a super efficient way to deal with.
Yeah. So
if you were to coin the haunted creeper here, great, you can backstab the haunted creeper. It just doubles the power on the board, so it's not actually amazing. But the backstab on the Dark Peddler is going to be pretty good.
Yeah, although even the backstab this early on the 2/2, it does help with the control. But like backstab hero power is going to come out. He might even save it just to be able to backstab SI7 agent next turn.
We'll see what he's going to be SI7 agenting.
Yeah, he'll probably SI7 agent face. And then obviously he doesn't want to prot that egg. But we can see now that there's a potential choice of either the Imp Gang Boss or the Power Overwhelming on the egg.
Yeah, with the double backstab, you can actually clear the egg.
You can kill it, but then it still leaves the 2/2 up, I guess. So still not horrendous for Guukboii, but definitely a good or a relatively good turn for Blackout.
Yeah, that second backstab gives him that extra versatility that he was maybe looking for this turn. It shows the power of the rogue swing turns, that you can play 3 cards and do 6 damage and get a 3/3 minion on the board for 3 mana. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
So Blackout just thinking, because I think the problem here is, it's a big commitment to deal with the egg. It does remove it off the board, but that's a lot of cards, right?
Yeah.
So what if your opponent doesn't have a proc this turn? He pretty much would need Power Overwhelming, right? So what if your opponent doesn't have Power Overwhelming, and then then you've just used a lot of resources to deal with something that maybe didn't need to be dealt with. So he is going to go for the more probably the overall mid-level play, I guess, of just clearing the 2/2, playing it relatively safe. But we can now see that the PO could well be an option here.
Yeah, it's going to be punished by the Power Overwhelming if that does come down. Oh yeah, he's going to use the Power Overwhelming and the Direwolf here rather than tapping, which is interesting.
Yeah, you want minions on the board. You may as well you play the minion over anything else, because the tap just leaves a 4/4 on the board, and then the issue there is that you've just gained a card where you don't need it because you're probably going to Gang Boss or Implosion the following turn. And you just want multiple minions, because if the rogue has this, or as we can see, it's the egg's dealt with, you have to use multiple cards. So there's double backstab already gone, but Imp Gang Boss into a Voidwalker is going to be pretty nice. We might actually just see a Blade Flurry come out. Blade Flurry hero power from Blackout.
Well, the Eviscerate might change things.
Well, the thing is, if he eviscerates, what does he proc the Eviscerate with? And also, he still has to run into the Voidwalker. So the Blade Flurry just clears up everything here pretty nicely.
So you could have hit into the Voidwalker, re-daggered and played Deadly Poison and then eviscerated?
Yeah.
So you could have cleared the whole board and left yourself with a Deadly Poison dagger. I don't. It's whether you value the Eviscerate or the Blade Flurry more.
Yeah, and the thing is that, like, yeah, that's true. But I think if you keep the board low, like, and use that Blade Flurry, then the Abyss can be used on, like, the singular minions that might come out from the Warlock, as opposed to splurging, everything on the board, then requiring a Blade Flurry.
Second Peddler for Guukboii. And I mean, he could just go for the Soulfire and go for some kind of burst finish here with the second power overwhelming that he got off the first Dark Peddler.
Yeah, the issue is he needs a minion to stick on the board, and that's going to be very, very difficult. With 2 Sea Giants and the Rogue obviously controlling this board state like the deck does, it's going to be really rough to get these Sea Giants out. And if you get them out at a high cost, like probably anything over 5, and then they just get sapped, then like that's pretty much how you lose.
Yeah, so you can see you're going for the Argus, just a little bit desperate to get something on the board. But it lines up so perfectly into this Deadly Poison Dagger. And there's the Dr. Boom for Blackout. So this is a really problematic swing turn here.
Yeah, he can kill the Dr. Boom and then just play the Creeper or Implosion. Oh, he's going to Implosion. Oh, okay, he can do this as well. This is better to try and get the Sea Giant out. Oh, wow, that was the perfect. Rolling 4 is insane. Yeah. He can play the Sea Giant, run the 2/3, and then coil.
Yeah, it doesn't even need to use the power overwhelming.
Does he play... Oh, this is tough. Half Eve weighs at wanting to actually play the second Sea Giant. But this is definitely the safer play.
Oh, Fan of Knives pick up. And there's 2 Boombots and an Eviscerate. So if the Boombots... Oh, okay, it's just going to sap the Sea Giant.
Yeah, because the thing now is that's like probably better than the Eviscerate, because now all he can do is like Sea Giant next turn.
Yeah.
And then he can still deal with it because he has Sprint, Eviscerate, and the Boombots. So, you still feel pretty safe. And bear in mind, Guukboii's on 19, double Eviscerate straight away is 8.
Yeah.
So, plus Boombots, plus the 3 attack on the weapon, and he has Sprint to refill his hand.
It's just going to be a double knife juggling Creeper here from Guukboii to refill the board. Oh, what does that do to the damage? That's 3. Oh, the Azure Drake. That's huge. Yep. That's going to be enough to secure the lethal for Blackout. Was it lethal without that? It was 8 plus 3 plus 1. No, it was 1 off. I don't know what's happened here. I think my spectator is bugged out. Is yours?
Nope, mine's fine. Your bad spectating skills.
Can you see the final blow being dealt?
Yeah, it's done. Blackout takes the game. Pretty swift fashion there. Really good opening for Blackout. I'm playing that really well. Obviously using this sap instead of the Abyss because his opponent was relatively low on health. So pretty good overall. Blackout is going to have his Rogue go into this game. And Guukboii, though, has his aggro... Well, I imagine it to be aggro Shaman. As we can see the Lepinome and Totem Golem in opening hand with a Feral Spirit as well. Okay, kind of rough that he didn't get the coin.
We're back.
Kind of rough that he didn't get the coin, though, because coin into Totem Golem, and then you go Totem Golem, Lepinome, then Feral Spirit is pretty good. But he is just going to have to play slightly off curve, so he does end up throwing the Feral Spirits, because he wouldn't have been able to play it on turn 3 anyway.
Yep, but a decent start for Blackout as well. Has the Backstab, has an early Flurry, and a Tomb Pillager is a nice body on the board as well, and the Deadly Poison. Yep,
and this is normally anything that's like hyper aggressive is normally pretty good versus Rogue. Things like Face Hunter and things like that. It really normally really powerful. Like aggro Paladins can be pretty good as well. And Shaman's the same actually, and we'll see how well it can perform. The hand isn't amazing. Earth Shock and Lava Shock, not really something you want too badly this early in the game, but. It's probably going to see a total unless you can draw into something a little bit better. And we might just see Crackle Face.
Face.
Total. Well, the thing is, it's probably going to go face, right? The Crackle, probably is. Not a lot of rogues are actually playing heal anymore in most of the decks. So, Crackling Face, was it worth more than the Totem? Not sure, but we are going to see the early sap go onto the Totem Golem, which is good because all the rogue needs to do is slow the Shaman down.
Yeah, putting up this Deadly Poison so he can deal with things that come out the next turn. We do see Argent Horse Riders, which obviously are a little bit more difficult to deal with, but the Backstab in hand is going to help with that as well. So, could we see a Blade Flurry here?
It's a tough one. You could Backstab Blade Flurry, but the problem is you currently Blade Flurry in 2 totems.
Yeah,
and it doesn't feel good. So, I kind of like saving it. especially because you have like Violet Teacher and Coin Blade Flurry next turn, which could be pretty nice if the Tomb Pillager dies, of course.
There's no coin in hand.
If the Tomb Pillager dies.
If the Tomb Pillager dies.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I said. If the Tomb Pillager dies, he'll have coin and be able to teach a Coin Blade Flurry.
Sorry, I was looking at one of the many things that's broken right now.
You were just distracted and not listening to me. Feels bad, Raven.
I was looking at all the error messages. Don't mind me.
Okay.
I'm just about holding the stream together with my fingertips. He's thinking about whether or not to use the backstab here, I guess. But just going to save it for now. And how invested in this board does Guukboii go? That's the question.
I'm pretty sure you go all in. You just drop Horse Rider, Lepanome, potentially even just go face. Like, you just, why not? Why are you scared of the 5/4 when there's a taunt totem up and you don't care about your own health in this matchup?
Yep. Looks like that's what it's going to be.
Because the thing is now, like, this is the way that the Shaman wants to be played. You want the minions first, then you draw into the burn later.
Oh,
and now he has Lava
great.
Shot, Crackle, and another Horse Rider.
The SI7 is great, though, because you can clear the board that way.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty nice. Clears the board off, can push some damage himself, get another minion on board. But again, like, Blackout's in a decent position here, but he is on 16. And, you never know, there could be, like, double Lava Burst in hand or something. And, it can get very dangerous. And that Abusive Sergeant is pretty huge as well.
There can just be so much damage. But are we going to see a trade here? We are not.
No, you don't trade. There's no need.
Do you
have
Crackle
and Lava Shot. Why not? That's my opinion. Like I said, most rogue decks don't run heal, and you have 2 mana spare. And what's the totem going to do? Absolutely nothing at this point. Crackle's for 6, so he has 2 damage from hand. Blackout's already saying well played. And this is the whole point, like I said, that you don't need to trade. You just, especially with an opening like this, you just go fast. And the odds on the Shaman now drawing into direct burn, because we've only really seen Crackle.
Yeah.
For draw. He's drawn all his minions early. The odds of him getting a Lava Burst, another Crackle, even like Lightning Bolt with Lava Shock and maybe a Spell Power Totem or something like that. There's so many chances of drawing some direct damage that Guukboii is probably feeling pretty damn good.
What is he doing here? He's just going to leave a 2
Yeah, but he's
damage.
not 2 off lethal. Does he draw the burn? Of course he does.
Yeah.
There's Lightning Bolt. And that's going to end the game.
If he'd cleared it, he could have cleared that off there with the Eviscerate and it wouldn't have been lethal.
Yeah, but Lightning Bolt was the smallest. Well, another Lava Shot would be smaller. But you're going to die. What Blackout did there was give him the highest chance of actually winning the following turns. If you look at the board, he had 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He had lethal with the minions and an Eviscerate next turn. As plus the weapon, of course. He had the damage to win the game if the Shaman did a dead draw.
Alright, well, Blackout is going to have to rely on his Druid to win this series for him. He's going to have to win 2 games. He has his back up against the wall. It is match point for Guukboii, and it's going to be the Aggro Shaman against the Druid. This feels a little bit rough for Blackout. Unless you can get the absolute
Druid,
nuts to start with.
Druid can actually be, like, okay sometimes, as long as you don't get steamrolled, like, hyper quick. When you start putting down, like, Druid of the Claw, you put down Loatheb, your minions start to actually do a lot of work, and then you can pressure the Shaman back sometimes. But, it definitely relies on the opening from the Shaman.
Well, we do see a Wrath in the hand for Blackout, which is going to help to deal with this these Tunnel Trogs, though we could just see coin into double Tunnel Trog here. And, I mean, what does the Druid do to defend against double Tunnel Trog?
Yeah, I think the reason he's not done the Tunnel Trog with the coin is he wanted the potential to coin out the Feral Spirit, because otherwise his turn 2 is very dead. So now he can just Tunnel Trog pass if he wants. He can coin out the Horse Rider if he wants. So this gives him way more options, because like if he coined out the second Trog, well, 1 Trog would be alive, but then he could just Lava Shock or Hero Power. So he does go to coin out the Feral Spirit, and this is okay because he does have the Tunnel Trog as a 1-drop next turn, so he can squeeze in a turn there.
Yeah, Blackout is going to be able to innovate out this Druid of the Claw, though, to try and get some defense in. As we can see, most of the offense is minion-based at the moment.
Yep, and I imagine we're just going to see the Earth Shock and ignore the Druid here. And this is like the option you need to do as the Shaman. You just Earth Shock the Taunt and carry on, continue. But this is still a relatively slow start, and especially with Swipe, he can clear the board. And also, Force of Nature in hand is huge, as that can just deal with almost any minions that the Shaman has on board.
Yeah, and that's how you want to use Force of Nature in this matchup, is to clear up the threats on the board and make sure you don't die, because this is a matchup where if you just don't die for a certain amount of time, hopefully you can just stabilize and control. But we're going to see the Argent Horse Rider into the Rock Biter here, just going face.
It's going to clear off the Druid.
It's going to clear off, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like for 1 mana, clearing off that minion that's going to continue to kill your own minions is probably worthwhile. And this Horse Rider is actually quite difficult to kill, especially after you've seen a Wrath and a Swipe.
Yep. Loatheb does come down, so we could just see Tunnel Trog, Arcane Golem, the minions continue to push, and then, as you say, you are playing a little bit into a Force of Nature.
Yeah, but I think you do it because next turn you can Ancestral Knowledge and Lava Shock, or do something else off the Ancestral Knowledge. He has saved the Golem, which... I don't know. It's okay.
Well, Blackout's trying to get himself close to the combo now, I think.
Yeah, why not? Because his opponent clearly doesn't want to trade into Loatheb, and Loatheb actually presents a lot of damage. And this is where, like, an early Druid of the Claw, like we saw, is pretty huge. Second Ancestral Knowledge feels a bit much. He could double Ancestral Knowledge and Lava Shock, though. I think I actually like that, because look at the amount of burn he has next turn.
Yeah, I mean, it's unlikely you die next turn. It's very unlikely you die next turn. So yeah, if you can double Ancestral Knowledge and then give yourself all your mana back, how much damage?
Yeah, and the thing is, this sort of turn forces the kill on the Spell Power Totem, which can be rough. Because I imagine next turn it's going to be a tough one. It depends how sort of scared Blackout is, but we might see the Ancient of Law heal next turn. Oh my god, double Crackle Lightning Bolt and an Arcane Golem. Oh, I don't know if I like that.
You know if you like the trade using them. Yeah, I think the Lava Shock was probably your best route to victory there.
The only good thing here is he does have Lava Shock and Doomhammer next turn, which is huge. So he could Lava Shock, run the 2-1 into and kill the Thaurissan, and then Doomhammer and go face. Which I actually really like. Because Doomhammer is just so much damage. It is so much
And there's the
damage.
Rock Biter
and then with a Rock Biter.
So you have Rock Biter, double Crackle in
next
the hand,
turn
plus
to
the
win.
Arcane.
Yeah, which should just win. Yeah, I think you definitely... I think you definitely Lava Shock here. This is too clean, and then you just Doomhammer and go ham. Go ham. Yeah.
So you put him down to 20, you can go back up to 21. You'll have 10, 12... can you double Crackle next turn? Sorry, yeah, you put him to 18. Then you can heal back up to 23.
Does he just win? He has 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He can't cast everything, but he does 10 with the Doomhammer. Yeah, he can just win with Crackle. Oh my god, he wins.
So
you just Lava Shock, Crackle, Rock Biter, right? I mean, it doesn't matter what order he does it in, but
yeah,
I think it's guaranteed lethal.
You double Crackle, Lava Shock, and then you've got Arcane Golem.
No, you just Rock Biter for 10.
Yeah, you just Rock Biter for 10.
Yeah, you just do whatever, like, because the thing is, the Crackle would hit for at least 4 because of the spell power. So it was just guaranteed anyway.
Well, that's going to be it. Guukboii is going to take out Blackout, who was one of the favourites remaining to take this tournament. We haven't actually seen him cast any of his games to this point, but the first one we do, I guess we must have jinxed Blackout because things didn't go his way.
Yeah, I think the Shaman's definitely, this is where we see like lineups come into it a little bit, where the Shaman did very well versus the Rogue, and he's actually not like super amazing against Druid, but still very good, I feel. So, I think we just saw a bit of a lineup issue there. I'm not saying Blackout's lineup was bad, but just that the Shaman did quite a lot of work versus him.
Yeah,